Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a kind of tip video. I don't usually do these, but I'm getting ready for an interview myself today in like 2 hours. And I was like, well, maybe I can give some tips for how I would do my makeup in an interview. And thus the video was born. So these are my tips for how to do your interview makeup. We're going to keep it neutral. We're going to keep it natural. We're going to keep it beautiful. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Give it a thumbs up. Do all the YouTube stuff. Most importantly, enjoy the video. Okay, so the first thing I would say to do is use a primer that you know is going to help prolong your makeup wear. You don't know how long the interview is going to go. And what I mean is, like, they could have you there. They could have you waiting a little bit. You could get like sweaty, you know, in preparation for the interview. There's a lot of factors, right, that go into that. So I would say wear a primer that you know is going to keep your skin intact. You know is going to be able to fight sweat. Just wear a good primer that's going to be an ally to you and not break apart your makeup at the first sweat droplet. So I don't want to mess up my hair. I already did that. We're looking slightly greasy here, and that's because I put way too much leave-in conditioner. So thank God for virtual interviews. This is a makeup video, not a hair video. If it was a hair video, you wouldn't want my tips. I'm awful at doing my hair. Next is going to be a foundation. So in my opinion, the same things apply with the primer. Wear something that's going to stay on for a long time, that's going to be able to hold up against sweat, things like that. However, make sure it matches your neck. Make sure you don't have like a yellow line. You wanna make sure you look put together. You don't want to give them any kind of indication that you maybe rushed or anything like that. So in my opinion, I'm gonna go with a tinted moisturizer. This is the Pretty Fresh tinted moisturizer from ColourPop. It stays on long, and it doesn't give me too much coverage where I kind of look like I'm wearing makeup. Of course, I'm going to be looking like I wear makeup, but this is going to be subtle enough that it's not going to look cakey. It's going to blend really well with my neck, and it's going to just be an all-around, out of all my foundations, this is probably going to be the best one for an interview. Now, I get the luxury of interviewing at home and not in like a hot, stuffy office or a room, so that works out a little bit more for me, but so I'm going to be on camera, and this is going to look beautiful on camera. So I'm going to do my makeup with a tinted moisturizer, but the tip would be just use a foundation that you know is the correct color, especially in the summertime because we're getting tans, you know. So make sure it's the correct color, as well as it's going to be able to fight any kind of sweat, and it's going to make you look fresh, young. That you want to look young. I know ageism is like an actual thing with interviewing. You want to appear young, you want to appear fresh, you want to appear excited. So I think a tinted moisturizer for me is the best way to go. All right, I don't really have tips for the concealer. I would just say, again, don't want to look like you're wearing too much makeup. So I would do something more closer to your skin tone, like not something that's going to be super, super, super brightening. You know, you don't want that stark contrast, especially if you're going for a no makeup kind of look. I'm just going to use this Kylie one. I actually love this concealer. I didn't think that I would. I thought it would be too dark. However, it's perfect, and it covers my dark circles really, really well. So that's just what I'm using today. All right, we're moving on to powder. This step is so important for me, especially. I have to 100% use my sponge to set my under eye because I don't want it to crinkle. I'm going to be smiling a lot, trying to be friendly, so I want to set my under eye almost like it's not going to move with my powder. I also have problematic under eyes, and I don't want the problem to show itself during the interview, as well as my under eyes are dark. I don't want them to think I'm not sleeping. You know, interviews are all about putting your best foot forward. So I'm just going to take a powder brush and lightly set the rest of my face. I like a light powder, especially if I know I'm not going to be sweating too much. That way it kind of looks more natural. I'm going to get that powder off my under eye. Now, I did a light powder for myself. However, if you are going to be sweaty, if you're going to be nervous, and you're going to be uncontrollably sweating, like you can't help it, you know you're just going to get sweaty up here, or maybe in your neck area, then you're going to want to put more powder on. If you think, you know, you're pretty confident, you're not going to be too sweaty, that's kind of the side that I'm on, then you can use lighter powder. But the worst thing is you don't want to be sweaty on accident and not forget or not remember powder, because then you're going to be able to see like that on your makeup. So make sure you're doing your makeup according to yourself. These are just some generic tips. I'm just going to lightly bronze. I don't want to be anything too crazy. This is just my butter bronzer, making some serious dents. But I don't want to like contour. That's not the goal here. Just add a little bit of warmth to my skin, give it a little bit of shape, and move on. I don't want to be too much. All right, once you got your bronzer the way you want, move on to blush. This part for me is critical. I'm gonna use a super light blush. This is my Lunar Beauty blush palette. I'm gonna use this like a baby doll pink right here. Typically I would mix the two, but I don't sweat, but I blush. I blush so hard in interviews when I'm talking about myself, or when they're like, oh, good job. I don't know why. I get super rosy, so I don't want to put tons of blush on and then get super nervous or rosy and flattered during the interview and look like a serious clown. So I'm going to use very little, because I know that I'm going to blush during this interview and it's going to look crazy if I don't. So just a very little. Even that I think is a little too much. I'm going to go in with my powder brush and just blend her out. If you're not a blusher, by all means pack on the blush, but I don't sweat, but boy do I blush. And then for highlight, I'm just going to use my Cover FX Gold Bar palette. I'm going to use a very minimal amount of this. I don't want to be too shiny to appear maybe like I'm blushing or sweating. I think Kathleen Light said it once, like there's a fine line between looking super glowy and like a greasy hot dog. You don't want to look like a greasy hot dog. Now it comes to eyes, and I would absolutely say neutral colors, browns, bronzes, nothing crazy. You don't want to go into an office interview with like purple eyeshadow on. It's just, for some reason, they don't like it. We do as makeup consumers and wearers, but professionally, they're not about it. So I'm actually going to use my chocolate gold bar palette. If you saw my clean out video, my declutter, you know I said I wanted to give this a couple more tries, and if I didn't like it, I would get rid of it. Here is try number 1. I'm going to go in with something super light and neutral, this brown right here. And I'm going to get that on my eye and my crease, everywhere. I'm not going to get much darker than this. All right, chocolate bar palette. In a perfect world, I would leave it just like this with some mascara. However, I will be wearing glasses for my interview for 2 reasons. 1, I cannot see. 2, being that there is a statistic that says like you are more likely to get your position you're applying for and interviewing for if you're wearing glasses. So it kind of works out in my favor. I'm going to do this brown on the other eye, and then I'll pop back and I'll tell you my next step. Like I said, if I was not wearing glasses, I would stop here, add my mascara, and call it a day. But because I want my eyes to pop a little bit behind my frames, I'm going to add a shimmer. I am going to go in with this brownie, oh, maybe not. Actually, this one right here. It's called Famous. I'm going to go in with that right on my finger and just tap that on the lid. Of course, we'll blend it out, but just a little bit of pizzazz for behind my lenses. That's even a little too gold for me. I'm going to go in and just, with my brush, and just kind of blend the shimmer onto the lid. Just dull it down a little bit. I don't want it to be too gold in your face. You know, I'm trying to keep it subtle. That's what I get for using this palette that I haven't used in years. Thank God. My hair got so greasy. I added just some, so I curled it and it got a little bit frizzy. So I went in with this Optica Supernova Moisture and Shine Cream, and it just got greasy, like bad. Look at that. So I'm gonna have to do something about that, or just not show her the top of my head during the interview. I still want a little bit of shimmer, so I'll just go in with like a brown and just tap it a little bit. All right, it could be better. Not a huge fan. A little bit upsetting that I had to dull out the gold so much, because the gold on its own looks really good, but it's just a little too gold for my look. All right, I'm gonna add just a very light color to my inner corner. I'm just going with like a natural bone, you can't see that, like this bone shade down here. No shimmer. Just a matte light shade to bring some light into my inner corner. All right, we're on my last 2 tips here. And for mascara, I would skip falsies. You do not want false lashes. If it's your vibe, go for it. Typically, I would say no false lashes. I'm gonna go in with 2 today. I got my Essence Get Big Lashes and my roller lash. All right, eyes done, face done. The final step I would say is skip deep lipstick, skip deep red lipstick, skip lipstick, and go with a gloss. So I'm gonna use my Tower 28 gloss in the shade Oat, and just enjoy it. That is it for this video, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is what I'm going to be doing my interview in about an hour at this point, and I love it. I think it looks so cute, classic, simple, easy, and fresh, young. I love it. So these are my tips for interview friendly makeup. I love interviews. I don't know about everyone else. This is going to kind of sound conceited, but anytime I can talk about myself and my achievements, I get like a rush from that. So I love interviews, but I know people struggle with them. So go in with your face of makeup, be confident, nail the interview. You guys are gonna do great. But that's it for this video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.